So guys, the first topic of the today is recursively. Okay. So what does it mean first of all? What we will do, first of all, we will go inside our, you know, copy activity. This option will come within the copy activity, and just below of this filter by last modified date, you will see this option recursively, right? It is by default selected. And if we put our cursor over here, you can read what does it mean. Process all files in the input folder and its subfolder. So it means that in your storage account, you have containers, and within the containers, you have folders. Okay. So it will, you know, process all your files, whatever files is present in your folder, and within their share folder, it will target those files. Okay. Or it will it means we will see this later. Let me explain you this concept very clearly. So for example, if you have a storage account in your case, right? Just a second. You have a storage account named SA, and within that storage account you have a container, and container name is input container. And within that input container there are, multiple folders are available. Like you can say, for year 24 you have a different folder, year 2023 you have a different folder, so you have year wise folders. And within that year wise folders you have particular month wise folder also, starting from 1 to, you can say, 12 months. Okay. Or whatever months you are having, 9 months are there, right? So imagine you have 9 such folders. Okay. And within every folder you have some files like, files for 2021 F1, starting from F1 to F9. We have multiple files within each and every month wise folder. Okay. So what is the meaning of recursively? So for example, if you create a ADF pipeline, right? So it will, fetch the data from input container and it will store into output container. So the concept is, if you make this checkbox enabled, the checkbox of recursively, if you make this enable, what will happen? I mean, it will store the data. If you, in a ADF pipeline, you have two options, guys. When you are creating any ADF pipeline, you are creating a data set, right? And within that data set, you have two options. You can choose or you can browse, right? While creating the data set, if you remember, you are browsing the path of the file. If you are selecting one specific file, for example, if you are giving a path of file as F5, so F5 you are going first. What is the path of the file F5? You are going into input, then after input you are going into 2024, then 2024 you are going into this folder 5, fifth month folder, and within fifth month folder you have fetched F5. So you have give, so while creating a data set, I said there are two options. Option number one, to give the path of a specific file. So this one option, you are giving a specific file path option, right? So in that case, this recursively will not work. Okay. Even if it is checked, even the checkbox is clicked, this will not work because you have selected a specific path. And what is the meaning of that recursively? You will get to know with option number two. If in option number two, instead of giving the path of a file, you are giving a path of the folder. For example, you will give that I am going inside the input folder. That's it. Okay. So what will happen? If you choose option number two, and if the recursively is checked, inside this output container, everything will be copied as it is. Means it will copy your folders, it will copy your subfolders, and within that subfolders, it will copy your files. Did you understand, guys? Okay. Let me let me go and show this one. Okay. I'm going to show you practically this feature. So I'm having a container named company within my this storage account. This is the storage account. Okay, this is the container name company, and within this container I am having three folders: company equal to Accenture, company equal to IBM, company equals to Infosys. If I go inside these subfolders, I am again having another subfolders. So for example, you can see here company. Within company we have company name Accenture is one of the folder, and within this I am again having showing three departments: HR, IT and sales. If I go to HR, again this is the file. If I go inside the file, I can see the data, right? So this is the data, employee ID and name, right? So similarly I am having data in all the departments for Accenture. Similarly I am having data for other companies also, right? So you can see we have multiple folders and subfolders exist. Okay, and I want to create a another, you can say, container which is meant for output container. You can call it as a company output, and I want to exactly copy the same, hierarchy of folders. Means I want to create a similar hierarchy of folders. Within the company there should be a department, and within that department there should be this thing, you know our data. Now the problem is to do this. I mean, if I go with legacy approach, traditional approach, what you have to do, you have to create, first of all, company output as another container, and within that company output you have to create, you know a different company folder like Accenture, IBM, Infosys, right? And within that again you have to create three different subfolders, right? Like HR, IT and sales. This is not good approach. And within that HR and IT, you can generate a output file. So this feature is giving your work easy. Now how we can do that? Okay, so let's quickly go inside this. Okay, and I am going to create a fresh pipeline to showcase this to you. I will hit this and I will hit go for new. I will use this PL underscore recursively. Okay, I just kept the same name so that we would be able to understand. This is the copy data, and within that copy data we will directly go to source. So you know that our source is nothing but what is our source? So if I go inside, this is our source, right? This company is a container. Okay, so this is our source. So but here, because I mentioned you, there are two options for you, correct? The one option is, you will, when you are creating an ADF pipeline, there are two options. Option number one, you can only, point to a specific file. For example, if you want to fetch F5, you will give a location of F5. But if you want to, you know, move entire data along with the folder, then you cannot give only one file. You have to give location of your input container. That's it, right? So we are going for option number two. So here, what we will do, we will create a data set. This will be Azure ADLS Gen 2, right? And I can select CSV file, or I can select binary also. That's not a problem, but I am selecting CSV. So I am writing DS underscore company input, correct? And I will use my link services. Right now, here's the catch. Because we are not giving any specific file to load, we are not using this option number one, because I want all the, hierarchy should be loaded in the output container. So I will use option number two, and I will choose only path of the container, not to the specific file. So I will browse, but I will only browse. Okay, this option is very important. Because whenever your integration runtime is not enable, you have to make it enable this way. Virtual network, enable it, and it will be enabled for 60 minutes. Whenever you come the very first exercise to do for a day, this option will B will have to be enabled by you. Okay. So I have to wait for this to be completed. It is enabled. So let me retry. So I can see all my input containers are available, but my area of interest is company. Okay. So inside company, I can see all the folders, but I'm not going to select any one of them because I want to move this entire folder along with their subfolders and along with the data to, to our output. So I will hit on OK. That's it. So first row is header. Yes, I can do that. And we can click OK here, or we can click none also, because we are not going to export any schema, we import any schema, right? Because we are not pointing to any specific file. So I selected it none. So I will hit OK. All right. So now the thing is one more important part, because here file path type is selected as file path in the dataset, but I have not given any file path in the dataset, right? Neither I have given any list of the files. So I have to use this wildcard file path. It means within this data set, within this folder, this is pointing to your container. This data set is pointing to this container, and within this container, I want to extract everything. So I will use wildcard this time, and I will use star instead of file name. Is that clear? So everything should be logical here. And I can select this recursively option as a checkbox, and my part is done. Okay. Now I'm going to sync this. Sync means where we have to store this piece of information. So as I mentioned you, what is my intention? I want to create another container with the name company output. Okay. And I want to store all my information as it is along with the same hierarchy. This is my intention. Okay. So what I will do, I will create a new data set. Again, same AD less than 2. I will use CSV because my source is CSV. I will hit on OK, and I will give this name DS underscore. You can say company out, something like that, right? And I will select my link services, and here I can select. Okay, I cannot select because nothing is available. It has to be newly created, right? So in that case, I can give the name here, and it will be created automatically by the system on the fly. So I will write this comp output. Okay, so this is the name of the container which I have given. So once it is executed, this will be created automatically by the system. Again, I'm not importing any structure, so I will choose none. Okay, and then I will hit OK. Fine. And you can see you have a file extension. However, our file is already in CSV, so it will generate a CSV, but better to, just change this for .csv instead of .txt. Okay. Okay. We are all good to go now. Now I'm going to debug this. Okay. So now it is succeeded. If you want to see the log, you can hit on this icon and see that there, how many data is there? 1.45 KBs. How many files it has read? 9 files. Okay. Okay. So within all these folders and subfolders, it find out 9 files. Let's see. So this is the storage account. You can see we don't have any new storage account name as comp output. As I refresh again, it will come. This you can see comp output. Okay. So first I should show you this company. So this company is having 3 folders and again subfolders, and within each subfolders there are specific files. Okay, so so as per my pipeline, this comp output should also be copied with the same set of folders and subfolders and respective files. So let's see. Here it is. You can see. So you don't have to worry about creating folders and subfolders in the output container. Okay, fine. So that's the overall case study for recursively options we have in copy.